Pope Leo XIV received a 7-minute standing ovation following his historic speech to the Spanish Parliament, the first ever address to the House by a sitting pontiff. The European Union announced an additional €5 million to support efforts to contain the latest Ebola outbreak in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo.
An offshore magnitude 7.8 earthquake hit the southern Philippines on Monday, killing at least 32 people.
Pope Leo XIV marked one of the most important days of his visit to Madrid with his historic address to the Spanish Parliament, the first ever by any sitting pope. During his speech, the pontiff acknowledged that society and the church itself have not always lived up to its insights that resonated within their own Christian tradition. And he also took the opportunity to call for immigrants to be received with respect and have real opportunities for integration.
Numerosos hombres, mujeres y niños se ven obligados por circunstancias muchas veces dramáticas a partir de sus comunidades y dejar atrás seres queridos, historias y vínculos.
Pope Leo also addressed the political tensions, saying that political pluralism should not degenerate into the constant denigration of the adversary. He received several minutes of applause at the end of his speech. Another significant moment of the day is said to be the private meeting Leo XIV will hold with victims of abuse within the church. The meeting, which will take place away from the public eye, aims to hear their testimonies firsthand and reaffirm the Pope's commitment to truth, reparation, and the prevention of these crimes, an issue he has placed among the priorities of his pontificate. The European Union has put an additional €5 million on the table to support efforts to contain the latest Ebola outbreak in Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo. The move comes as the Ebola epidemic continues to accelerate across Central Africa, where almost 500 cases have now been confirmed, according to the World Health Organization, which declared the crisis an international public health emergency. During her visit to the region on Sunday, the European Commissioner for Crisis Management, Hadia Labib, explained how the new funding will be used.
Dès l'apparition de l'épidémie, nous nous sommes mobilisés, nous étions très rapidement sur le terrain pour renforcer l'aide. Et cet engagement continue aujourd'hui. Je ne viens pas les mains vides, je viens avec 5 millions supplémentaires pour créer des centres régionaux de diagnostic dans les provinces qui sont les plus touchées.
The Commissioner confirmed that the new fundings aims to bolster testing abilities in areas where the virus is spreading, allowing health authorities to identify and isolate cases more quickly. According to the latest update on Saturday, 82 people have lost their lives in the DRC, where the outbreak was officially declared 3 weeks ago. Health experts have warned that if left unchecked, the epidemic could become one of the largest ever recorded. Commissioner Labib noted that warning signs were already apparent during a previous visit to the region earlier this year.
The leaders of France, Germany, and the United Kingdom have backed Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky in calling for direct ceasefire talks between Russia and Ukraine, according to a joint statement issued following defense talks in London on Sunday night. Zelensky met with British Prime Minister Keir Starmer, French President Emmanuel Macron, and German Chancellor Friedrich Merz at Downing Street for talks. The leaders supported the proposal for a direct dialogue between Ukraine and Russia with active US and European participation. According to the leaders, the current line of contact, quote, should be the starting point for negotiations and international borders must not be changed by force. Sunday's meeting in London comes after Zelensky had proposed a face-to-face meeting with Russian President Vladimir Putin in an open letter last week. Putin has ruled out the move, saying he saw no point in meeting Zelensky until a possible peace deal had been agreed. The UK, France and Germany, the so-called E3 group of European nations, have been prominent backers of Ukraine following Russia's full-scale invasion in February 2022.
Over the weekend, Israel launched strikes on Lebanon, killing several people, including 3 members of the Lebanese military, just days after the two sides agreed on a ceasefire deal. In an interview with Euronews, UNIFIL's deputy head of mission said that while the UN peacekeeping force is there to support the peace process, it cannot enforce any agreement on the parties involved.
There was already a cessation of hostilities agreement found in November 24. We have supported this, in particular the redeployment of the Lebanese armed forces to the south, verifying that Hezbollah had vacated the south and helping the Lebanese armed forces to clear the south of weapons that were not under the control of the state. So we are here to support a process, but when the process fails, then it is not for UNIFIL to substitute itself to the parties and force an agreement that the parties have to implement.
Hezbollah has rejected the Israel-Lebanon talks, while a previous ceasefire has been breached daily, with Israeli troops deployed deep inside Lebanese territory and Hezbollah militants continuing to attack Israel.
I think it's very difficult to see now a change within a few weeks. There is always the chance that the political process, the political will of the parties will change things on the ground. I think we see this under the US negotiation that are currently ongoing in Washington, but it's a very complicated process.
Lebanon's army said the continued Israeli attacks thwart efforts toward a comprehensive ceasefire and Israeli withdrawal from the occupied Lebanese territories.
At least 32 people have died after a 7.8 magnitude earthquake struck the southern Philippines on Monday, collapsing buildings and sparking tsunami warnings across the region. More than 200 people were injured, mostly in damaged buildings, officials said. According to Filipino authorities, a series of powerful aftershocks rocked the area from about 2 hours after the first quake, with General Santos, a southern port city of more than 700,000 people, being among the hardest hit. The international airport in General Santos was temporarily shut due to the earthquake, and 17 domestic flights were cancelled. It was the strongest earthquake to hit the Philippines this year, affecting the southern region of Mindanao and triggering a 1-meter tsunami waves along nearby coasts. Tsunami warnings were also issued across Indonesia, Malaysia, Taiwan, Japan, and several Pacific Island nations. Earthquakes are a near-daily occurrence in the Philippines, which is situated on the Pacific Ring of Fire, an arc of intense seismic activity stretching from Japan through Southeast Asia and across the Pacific Basin.
Preparations are picking up speed just days before an event of global significance, the G7 summit. From the 15th to the 17th of June, the heads of state and government of the world's 7 leading economies will gather in Evian in the French Alps. About 50 kilometers away, in La Roche-sur-Foron, police officers are fine-tuning the logistics for the security operation.
L'objectif premier de la base, c'est de subvenir aux besoins des unités déployées sur le terrain. L'idée, c'est de pouvoir répondre à tous leurs besoins, que ce soit la réparation de leurs véhicules, voire le remplacement de leurs véhicules, mais également leur distribuer du matériel, également les nourrir.
A major challenge, since 6,100 gendarmes and 1,400 vehicles will be deployed to ensure security for the summit.
Il y a de l'escorte, évidemment, c'est une évidence, de chefs d'État ou de délégations, mais également sécurisation de la population.
Enhanced security checks will begin in Evian and the surrounding area, with the establishment of restricted traffic zones starting 4 days before the G7 summit begins. What at first glance might seem like a scene stolen from a Western film is actually one of the most characteristic expressions of the rural identity of the Maremma region of Lazio. Every year in May, the Canale Monterano Buteri Association organizes a festival called Riarto, which commemorates the moment before the start of the transhumance, when the Buteri met to compete in skill competitions. Still today, Maremma cows live only on rough pastures. To round them up, these skilled herdsmen use their skill on horseback.
Il buttero era la persona che doveva non solo accudire il bestiame, ma doveva anche preoccuparsi di fare i rimessaggi, fare lo svezzamento dei vitelli. Il suo modo di lavorare non era solo era con il cavallo.
With the progress of technology, the butero trade has almost disappeared, but the passion of people fond of this life has helped safeguard this role.
Io quando ero ragazzino vi ricordo che al paese la sera rientravano i butteri con i cavalli, c'erano le stalle proprio alla zona periferica del paese e poi domavano continuamente durante l'anno cavalli o per il loro fabbisogno o per il loro bisogno oppure per il bisogno di altre persone.
New technologies have also brought positive changes according to the new generation buteri.
Ci sono stati diversi cambiamenti che agevolano un po' anche il lavoro del buttero, anche il controllo per esempio con una macchina è più veloce piuttosto che a cavallo, è più comodo, la gestione se vogliamo pure della banca dati a livello proprio anagrafico per capire chi c'è in azienda, quanti ne mancano, quanti ne sono nati, una visione un po' più d'insieme forse rispetto a quella che era in passato quando il buttero conosceva più da vicino l'animale, invece oggi forse lo conosce poco più da lontano ma ha una visione d'insieme più generale.
For Marta and her brother Alessandro, the family and their roots in the area have had a significant impact on their choice to become buteri.
La parte del buttero è proprio questa, essere il supervisore del lavoro, del proprio lavoro, di se stesso, e per questo è una cosa che ti rende anche molto orgoglioso perché non sei responsabile solamente di te. Sei responsabile di tutto ciò che ti circonda, della tua azienda, delle tue vacche, di ciò che ti hanno lasciato e deve essere una cosa che ti rende fiero.